New Year is right around the corner, less than a week away. That means new laws are going into effect soon.
Our political reporter Morgan Rynor is breaking down some of these laws for us over the next couple of days. Today she's focusing on crime. Morgan.
Well, California outnumbers other states when it comes to catalytic converter theft, so there are several new laws aimed at addressing that issue. There's also a new law that will decriminalize jaywalking.
State Farm lists California as the #1 state for catalytic converter theft claims.
People go to a grocery store, they come out and the cat be missing.
Tommy Dow owns an auto shop and gets calls weekly from people asking if he'll buy their used catalytic converters.
They'll probably call me like 2 or 3 times a week. You know what I mean? They'll ask you guys buy used cats? And I always say no, you know, because I know it's probably stolen off another somebody else's car.
2 new 2023 laws aim to help. Together, they define who can buy and sell cat converters. SB 1087 says the parts can only be purchased from industry professionals like automobile dealers. AB 1740 requires anyone who accepts a catalytic converter to keep a record of all the information about the transaction.
We're asking law enforcement really to spend their attention elsewhere on much more serious issues, much more serious violent crimes, as well as property crimes that people are very upset about.
That's Assemblymember Phil Ting, who said he'd rather law enforcement focus on crimes like catalytic converter thefts than on citing people for jaywalking.
Everybody has a freedom to walk across the street without being worried about being cited or being stopped.
The new law he authored says you can jaywalk without being ticketed by police as long as it is safe to do so.
We see that African Americans are 5 times more likely to get cited than other individuals.
Then there's SB 731, which will allow people to permanently seal their arrest records after they've completed their sentence and have gone 4 years without committing another crime.
I've struggled with alcoholism.
The law will help people like Destiny Granger, who got a DUI and often has a hard time finding employment and housing with a criminal record.
There are a lot of us that struggle with the fact that we do have records, you know, especially them being felonies. You know, a lot of people look at you a different way.
The new law will not apply to people who committed serious felonies or registered sex offenders.
Now, some of these new laws, they did have opposition, like the one that will erase criminal records. The Peace Officers Research Association told me that they do not believe 4 years is enough time to make sure that someone has transitioned back into society safely and have completed the necessary programs.
Hey, Morgan, let me ask you this. Are there any bills focusing on crime that did not pass and become a law?
Yeah, off the top of my head, there was one that would bring the amount that you can steal for it to still be considered a misdemeanor from $950 back to $400. That one did not pass.